Let's see what my friends are up to.
Hey, come on in.
Show me what you got.
Check this out. Yeah, not bad.
What's the latest?
A headphone campaign. Take a look.
It's wonderful!
Took you long enough.
We still dropping the tutorial tonight?
All done. Check this out.
That's crazy. Catch you later. Got something new for me?
Always. Give it a go.
It's so cool. That's a wrap on filming today's vlog.
You mean a wrap on generating?
Experts say millions of parallel timelines could be happening at the same time. They've found evidence of a gateway, opening the door to travel between parallel worlds. Multiple universes.
In this emotional state, I really don't think she should be saying that.
No way.
Let's see what my friends are up to.
Hey, come on in.
Show me what you got.
Check this out. Yeah, not bad.
What's the latest?
A headphone campaign. Take a look.
It's wonderful!
Took you long enough.
We still dropping the tutorial tonight?
All done. Check this out.
That's crazy. Catch you later.
Got something new for me?
Always. Give it a go.
It's so cool. That's a wrap on filming today's vlog.
You mean a wrap on generating?
Experts say millions of parallel timelines could be happening at the same time. They found evidence of a gateway, opening the door to travel between parallel worlds. Multiple universes.
In this emotional state, I really don't think she should be saying that.
Hi everyone, this is Xianshu, and thank you for joining us at the live session of Wan3.0 launch. As you can tell from the name, Wan3.0 is a major version update from our video generation model series 1. And we started our public beta testing recently, and today we're very delighted and honored to have 4 very award-winning and featured creators from different platforms and the community to share their experience of WAN with us. So we have Jesus from Magnific, Luis from FAO, Max from OpenArt, and Miho from Koyao. And with me here, I also have Haoyu from our model training team. He's a researcher, and he will share us about his stories in the model training.
Yes, it's very great to be here today.
Thank you. So please join me to welcome our first guest speaker, Jesus Plaza. He's a creative director from Magnific. And he has over 20 years of experience in filmmaking and branded storytelling. And he featured himself at the AI Film Explorer. That's how he's with us today to share how he's leveraging WAN in his real production workflows. So over to you, Jesus.
Hi, thank you for having me. I love to be here and I love your tools, and it's been a pleasure. Very fun to test it and try to get some amazing videos. So as you were saying, I'm from Magnific, and we have access to amazing tools like yours. And the last week we've been playing with it, and we've been able to see the strengths and where to use it on our pipelines and professional workflows like studios or production companies, agencies that want to create ideas and bring them to life with video. And we have a few tests that I want to show you, if that's okay. So thank you for having me, and let's go for it.
Thank you so much. Appreciating.
Here you. I'm a film and creative director with over 20 years of experience here in Europe and South America, directing commercials and fiction. And for the last 2-3 years, I went completely into the rabbit hole of AI because it's just amazing, everything that you can do with it. And for the last few months, I joined the Magnific team in the Magnific Studios. So let me show you what we are able to do with our platform and using WAN. So everything that you're going to be seeing today, it's created in what we call Spaces. Spaces is a collaborative area where you can create your ideas, bring them to life, even if there are images, videos, or even the whole film with audio. And it's a great way of collaborating with other people or just for yourself, because you can share those spaces and create like a workflow or a pipeline for other people to see your work or just create it fully on your own. So this is amazing for production companies or studios that want to bring to life any type of films. And I created this with my friends, Jesus and Eva, and we're gonna see it today. So first of all, it's such a massive improvement between WAN 2.7 to WAN 3.0, sorry. I think the consistency, the characters, and especially having longer videos is amazing. But also what is important for me is the quality of that video, that output. And you can tell straight away that from 2.7 to 3.0 is a massive difference. So congratulations to the whole team that made it possible, because you can actually tell how good it is. Okay. Let me show you this quick example. So physics, consistency, characters, everything is so much better than before, and that's amazing. What I was really surprised is when we tried to do something cinematic like this one, and it was so good. Like, I was really impressed because from text to video, no image references, it really comprehended the prompt, and it brought to life something really complex with a Spanish accent from Colombia, which is not even just like an extra layer of difficulty, but a really amazing tool to bring to life any type of stories all around the world. So let me share with you. I have to change the microphones, 1 second.
Ya cerré. Ya sé. Nada. Vine a avisarte. Avisarme que dieron tu nombre. ¿Quién? Mauricio. ¿Quién? Tu hijo.
This is only one prompt, no editing. The Spanish accent from Colombia is spot on, and the physics, the dynamics, the lighting, the quality is really, really good. So that really impressed me. And also we wanted to take it to an extra level of difficulty with complex cinematics and motion, and skateboarding is one of those things that we all try to do whenever there's a new model, because skateboarding is very difficult in life, but for AI it's also very difficult. So we did a few tests, and it was really good just with this image reference, getting some amazing quality and results were impressive. I know these type of videos are particularly difficult, so congratulations to the whole team. We wanted to test something that we use a lot, and it's lip sync. It's like, how good is your character talking in different languages, and how good is like the mouth and the expressions attached to that audio. And we were also really impressed. I think that's probably one of your strengths, like lip syncing is really good.
Our biggest challenge wasn't the technology. It was convincing people to trust it. Once they saw the results, everything changed. Today, we are not just adapting to the future, we are building it. Nuestra mayor dificultad no era la tecnología, era convencer a la gente para que confiara en ella. Una vez que vieron los resultados, todo cambió. Hoy, no solo nos estamos adaptando al futuro, estamos construyéndolo.
That's actually really good, because Spanish accent and English accent are completely different, and the way we move our mouths are different, and the video was spot on. So congratulations to the whole team. We wanted to also try like something more like a promo video for sunglasses with a model, and it was also very good. Yeah, these type of videos are not that demanding anymore, but it's difficult to get good quality of the product and the model, realism, consistency, all of that. So it's a good test to have, and I think you did great over there. Another strength that we found is animation is also very good, especially for kids, because the type of animation that you can create with this model gives you like a really calm and easy to watch for kids type of animation. The character sheets, it's masked on this type of projects. So you can create with a character sheet, an audio, a nice little video, and you can create a whole series, a whole show with this model within Magnific. So congratulations, it's one of your strengths. I think is very good.
Hi, I'm Gira.
And I'm Shelly.
Today we're going to learn the colors. Red, like the apple.
Blue, like the sea. Green, like the leaves.
Yeah, the consistency is really good, and the quality is very good. And also we wanted to do like something a little bit more complicated like this, and it was also very good. So let me show you on spaces, and then we will jump into conclusions and everything. So here, when you come to Magnific, you can create an empty Canva like this, and you can basically move around your objects, your assets. You can duplicate, create an image generator, video generator, an assistant. You have an agent that lives here with you and everything. So that's basically what we did for all those different tests. We jumped with character sheets, a little text, we created a video, then we wanted to see the difference in quality between 2.7 and 3.0, and it's such a big improvement. Well done. It's very good. And also, one of your strengths, we believe, is the credits. The credit management is really good, because for the type of quality that you get, you don't spend that much in credits. So congratulations on that. We also actually like compare like 2.7 and 3.0 here, and there's like 1,000 extra credits of using it, but the quality is worth it, completely worth it. Then also like the lip syncing project part here is really good, just with a little text and image reference. We could try it in Spanish and English, and that's very good lip syncing. Like I can completely understand the English part, the Spanish part, and it's very good. The accent and the movement of the mouth is all spot on. Then this is one of my favorite parts, like cinematics is really good. Really, really good. Like from just this little image and a nice prompt, all completely like well executed and written, you could get very nice videos. And then we wanted to see how about if we did variations maybe, or create different type of videos, and what if we create some still shots and take it to a whole new level with this, and just create like a whole basically, you could create a whole commercial or a skateboard video. And that's what we got here. So basically, in Spaces, you can create different videos and then create a video combiner and edit them together. And you have a very nice preview of your creations. And then obviously, this is one of my favorites. Shout out to my friend David Forero, who helped me with this. And with a nice, really good prompt, it's kind of long, but very good, you get an amazing quality cinematic video. And that's very, 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 very good. As I'm saying here, is like the Spanish accents, the camera movements feels realistic and emotional, very good. The video with kids animation is very good. Basically, some sound or music or voices, add in the character sheets, and you create nice little cute videos. This one is very good too. And that's it, basically. So we had a little area of conclusions and room for improvement, because I think it's fair to tell you about the good things and also about the things that we would like to see you push harder. Super happy about the improvement between 2.7 and 3.0. Like the quality you have taken it to another level. Congratulations. Lip syncing in multiple languages is amazing. I think it's one of your strengths. Text to video, like I don't know how you do it, but it's really, really good. Congratulations. Animation for children's, it's one of your strengths as well. And one of your selling points for me is like you're getting 30 seconds, 1080p with a really, really good and reasonable cost of credits. So, and that's difficult to get. We understand that videos are getting expensive, and having a model that gives you a good quality for less cost is important. And then, multi-localizations for different markets is one of the most important things for different brands. So you can do a lot of things with this model. And if I had to give you two advices or something that we would like to see in the next model is for you to work on the music generation, because you have amazing video, but sometimes the music could be a little bit more polished or closer to the action that you've seen on the video. So if you can work on the music generation, that would be amazing. And also you have improved so much between 2.7 and 3.0 in physics and human and emotions and everything. Keep going that way. You're doing great. I cannot wait to see the next iteration and see how you take it for human movement, physics, and emotions. So thank you for your time. Like, seriously, it's been fun playing with Wan3.0, and I hope you like the demonstration and the examples. And now it's your turn to go into Magnific and play with Wan3.0. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jesus, for this comprehensive testing. And we are actually amazed at the variety and the depth that you goes into, and especially about this Spanish accent, like very native one. And I couldn't help seeing, great smiles from how you are researcher, like very proud face on him. So really thank you for doing this for us, and thank you Magnific for always being a great partner for all of us during every of the one model release. So I do have two quick questions for you. As you mentioned, you do bring Wan3.0 to the cinematic level production. So I do wonder, what are the top maybe 2 or 3 things that you care most in like a film level production? Like what matters to you the most?
Yeah. The holy grail for everyone is probably control and consistency. If you have those two, you can do basically anything in animation, cinematics, videos for games or music videos or anything, but control and consistency is key. I think your prompt understanding is really good, and the quality has improved so much. So you're going in the right direction, and mixing your model with spaces in Magnific gives you those tools to be able to create stories. Because once you have a nice idea, it's all about being able to develop it quickly. And with your credit cost, your quality, and your prompt adherence, you can be able to do everything like that within Magnific. So keep going that way, because it's looking really good.
Thank you so much. And the second question I'm asking on behalf of the broad Magnific user, because you demonstrate a really great workflow on the canvas on Magnific. So I'm going to ask you, like, what are the top 3 scenarios that you will recommend to our broader user group here? And is there any prompt, like tricks on the prompts that you can share?
Sure. I think character sheets help a lot to have that consistency and control that I was talking about before. Mix it with our agent that is built in Magnific. So you can have an agent that helps you, like an assistant. So basically you tell your story and say something like, hey, I want to make this into a very cinematic thriller about this and that, and the main character is a woman from China, and she wants to achieve this goal in her life, and the enemy is this other person. Just talk about your story and the way you want to see it to your agent, like he's your assistant or your friend, and just have those little things like a good prompt, a nice character, a nice video model, and you're gonna be able to create your story. So yeah, just go and have fun and talk to the agent like it's your personal assistant.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. And I can't wait to bring Wan to Magnificent on D0. We're partnering on this for a while, and we do partnering for this time. So I can't wait for that to happen. And I can't wait to meet the entire team in Magala, as you mentioned, very soon. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, and I cannot wait to see the next step in Wan. So thank you very much.
It's on you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Now let's welcome our guest, Luis Odin. He's the Senior Creative Engineer from File.ai. And he has more than a decade of experience in 3D and real-time worlds, and he's mingled that with AI tools so much to a great extent that he calls himself technical artist. And he just released his 3D render to real LoRa on his personal channel, and also he's been creating so many great workflows for so many global top agencies across the world. And I still remember how I met with Luis 2 weeks ago in San Francisco and seeing him, testing our Wan3.0 with one single shot. And that excitement is still with me. And that's what also bring both of us here to this session. So Luis, it's over to you for a self-introduction and show us how you're playing with the model.
Yes, so first, hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Super nice introductions, thank you. It was very nice to meet you as well. So yeah, I'm gonna present a bit the model today, Wan3.0 that we think is amazing on FAL. So I will share my screen maybe right now. Okay, so I think you can see it well. So I think Wan3.0 is an amazing model for many reasons, and I will try to show you how to use it, what I try to create with it, what is possible to do, and to give you like all the possibility and yes. So first, I just want to introduce who we are. So we are a generative media platform for developers. Every model is like behind an API. So you can like either use it on FAL website, but you can include it in any of your project and call any model that you want. We have also a solution of serverless to run your own model, and you can manage anything you want, everything you need. And we have also compute that you can use for training or anything like this. We have like today like more than 1,400 models for like so many usage. And yes, hope you can discover many models, but first like Wan3.0 that I think it's an amazing one. We already introduced myself, so I will not reintroduce, but yes, you say everything around me. I'm a senior creative engineer at File.ai since like now almost 1 year. And yes, working on so many cool projects. So I like to understand the model well, to show what's possible to do with different clients or customers that want to use it. So yes, we start straight. Wan3.0, what it is. So first, what is super important, I think, it can do like amazing 30 seconds. So like what is so important right now, I feel people like they need more and more like to do longer video. And I think today to see that you can do like up to 30 seconds. And when I say one shot, it just means that you can process a full video with like a lot of cuts and with a super consistency in one go. Resolution also is amazing. I think we're gonna see that the 180p bring a lot of details. It's super realistic, and you can also do like a lot of different style. And it's not only good for photoreal, I would say it's also very good for animation, 2D, 3D. And I will explain more a bit about the different functionality with this model. But first, I want to show you because when we met, as we were saying, I think the first time I tried Wan3.0, we created this video after a few shots. And I think it was very cool to show it again, because I think normally sometimes we test a lot of model, and before to show some video, we select a lot. So we select the best one and we try to show the best one. But this one was I think the second one we were generating with the model, and we were very surprised by how good it was. So I'm gonna show it right now. Yes, so like to see that like as a first like visual from the model, and when we test it, we were like, okay, it can do great things already. So I will explain like what and show you more example about what you can do with this model, and even comparing to these videos that you see just before, you will see even compared to that like the model do like amazing things. So they can do like text to video, image to video, and reference to video, and I will explain like what they are the best for each of these use case. So on Fala, if you want to use Wan 2.0, you can just go on the playground and you will find all the information. You can just write Wan 3.0. You have the different model, text to video, image to video, reference to video, and you can use them like directly on our playground, or we call it, or you can use the API. In 2 lines of code, you give it to Codex or Claude and you say, generate me a video, and it will do it for you. And I will explain also after like more about like what we develop also at FAL, but like, yes. So I think I will start with these videos that I find it super interesting. What I like to do is sometimes like just classic conversation. And here it's a very interesting one because I think it follows exactly the prompt, exactly the text that I give. And the character of consistency and the realism of character, I think is perfect. So it's a kind of classical scene, but I think it's very interesting to see.
That is not fair, and you know it.
You always do this. You call when you need something.
I just thought, and you're making me feel guilty for asking you to help me out.
Oh, so now I'm the bad guy? Sit down. Eat something.
So yeah, it's not the most happy scene in the world, but it was just to show because I really like to test also the emotion and to see what it gives. And to be honest, in one go to get this result in 30 seconds was really very impressive. It can do also like for sure different cuts.
Pressure is holding. Say again your last, ground.
We copy.
They are lying.
So you see, you can do like very cool video. Also this one, it's like emotionally and like photorealism is very impressive. So I'm showing this with text to video, but for sure you can apply it after to image to video, to reference to video. But here it was to show like a bit that you can really
30 seconds.
Have interesting emotion and
I cannot.
And playing as well. I think that was
You can, and you are about to.
And so she go on the scene. But like, yes, that was like, yes, the text to video is already like something like so useful, I think, and you can do like so much with it. Also, I was very impressed by the model. So there is some functionality. Sometimes we try to do a lot of macro, micro. It was super impressive to see how we can handle like, there is no text this time, but just to see how we can handle the details on like an animal like that, a mosquito. If you see like the video in full quality, it's very impressive to see like how detailed it is and how the texture are. I think also it's very good for like scene in general. I was finding sometimes I like also to do like kind cool of chill scene when there is not so much happen and just to see how the model handle it. And it was very cool that he can do like something like that so peaceful in the same times. And for sure after, I didn't put so many cuts on this one, but I wanted something that looked like a real movie kind of. And so even if you don't have movement or stuff, that's why it's interesting also to see that the model he can handle like very little movement so well. It's very nice. And why I'm doing this test with this image is when you see that he can handle like very well like static scene like that, then he can be like doing a lot. And the last thing that I wanted to maybe show that I will re-show after with other functionality, but for text to video, I think it's very good at styling globally the model. And you can do like various styling that you never saw before as and to see that like the character and stuff is like a style that is totally innovative, I think, and it's very cool to see that it can do like so many different functionality. So all what you saw just before, this video that I present you was made only by text. All what I did before, so like conversation or like stuff like that, you can also make it much easier to do and much more controllable first with the models that call image to video. So image to video also, I really like it because it's following exactly the first frame. So it's very, very useful when you want to like have a lot of control of what is your first frame, what is your last frame. So like what I like here is to see, like, for example, I just give the animal a bit crazy and it's reanimating like it in a super high quality way. The prompt was not so long, it was pretty short to do. And doing like some kind of like very cool vibe. But also you can do like also more motion kind of graphics that I didn't show it really yet. That also with image to video. So the first image was kind of a product, a bit glossy. And again, this is with very, very low iteration. To be honest, I think it was the only video when I rendered the video, I was like, okay, yes, that's already working pretty good. So I didn't need it to rework it or like to redo like 10 times the same render. That's why I think also the model is super powerful. It doesn't do like so much mistake. So yeah, that's the image to video. I don't go so much on image to video because also like you understand with text to image that you can combine it with image to video to get so much control. But what I find like super innovative right now is the reference to video. That makes a full difference because it's where you can have like so much control. So you can have like 10 reference image, 5 video, 5 audio. So that means that you can give all this content to one model to just explain him the context of what you want visually. I think for any artist or any production of movie or advertisement, it can be a huge win. What I love also, it's a functionality that is pretty interesting, is like you can import also PDF or web page that will like, if you have a project that is a storyboard or that is like on a page and you don't want necessarily to just do screen capture or like, it can be like a very easy way to share the content. I think today what is important, and that's why this model is so good, is people, they need model like that because they want to give all their content and that the model can understand it. And Wan3.0 for this point is very good because it can understand super well how to combine elements together. I will show you some example. And yes, so it gives you like an idea a bit. So yes, you can do it again on file. Again, you will have like access to reference to video until the resolution 180p. That I think is amazing. You can choose your duration, audio, and you can put all your input, video, image on the page or via API again. And let's go to see some results that were like, so what I like to do first is always like something interesting is like kind of character sheets. So first I generate like a character on a character sheet with like 3 different visuals of her. And I just like add a scene of a city. And what I was super impressed compared to other model, because sometimes you give to other model reference to video like a scene that you give like of an environment. And sometimes the scene is very different than the actual environment. And to see that here it's exactly following the character, but also the environment, it's something super impressive. Like the phase, the consistent of everything, the different shots that you can have. And that was only 10-second video. Huh? Again, you can do like you can do like much longer one. I love also like to go further, and that's an example where you can also combine not one character, but 2 characters together and get a super good consistency. And even here, I try to make the model a bit, to make the life of the model a bit harder, saying that there should be water everywhere, so they should be in water. And I also give an input that is a 3D of someone walking, just to see if it could follow like pretty good the movement. And it's interesting because the lady following like in a pretty good way, at least for the start. So here was just a test, but you can do like so much control using this kind of tool. But as you see, like the water effect and like the 2 people are exactly as my reference. So I think like to create like amazing video with it can be great. And yes, another one like also simple with the character again. Oh, sorry, move a bit too fast. Yes, so again, like he's following the character. What I'm very impressed is about the environment. And what you can see here that can be interesting is to give the information of camera and how speed I wanted the camera to be. I just give as reference video a simple 3D with like a movement of camera. So it just give a bit the effects that I wanted, that is like kind of a ease, where it will like be slowing down after at the end, like you see right now. So it can be very interesting to combine these different techniques, and that's why reference to video is so interesting, because even you see here I give like so much content that have no link together and it can do it perfectly. And that's why after you can do it for real production, for movie. So here we have a character in an environment a bit crazy, something like in the like kind of the desert, and you can see the character that is perfect and like the environment is exactly, and even like the char and everything I wanted. But what is super interesting is, for example, if I want to keep the exact same inputs, but I ask to do it like during the night, Sorry, I think I just moved too fast again, just this one. So here what I did like also like it's a 30-second video. So I didn't put too many scenes because I wanted to after cut where I wanted to do. So you can do also much more cuts in 30 seconds. But my goal was also like if you make a movie, it can be very interesting to do long scene because you can exactly take what part you want, like a real movie finally. And you see here it's like, again, respecting my character, my environment. The only thing that is mostly changing is the night environment. And what I find it super cool is I don't need to change my image reference that is respecting this new kind of environment. And it's working for character, but also like for any crazier animal if you want. So here, like for example, with a kind of dinosaurus or like monster in the city. And again, it's following exactly what was super impressive. It's following exactly the input that I give. And yes, so now like I show you like some examples that I think were, I hope, very interesting. And I wanted to give you like some feedback also how to use the model on your side after for all the users that watch us right now and that they can play on that on file, again, either our Playground or API. So what I advise is always like to don't give like, to be very precise about your action and to don't describe too much. Sometimes if you ask a LLM to write a prompt, it will give a lot of information for one shot. You don't need to give too much. You need to give precise word and precise information about it. That's the most important. You don't need to get like too much in details. I will say, for example, if you use reference to video, the content that you put, the quality of the content that you input, I mean the image, video, but also the text is super important. Better your quality of input will, better your output will be as well. I mean the quality of your image, if you have no mistake on the image, and the same for the prompt. Better to be short, but to be perfect, I think. And yes, also you can name the cut, so it's very nice, you can name the cut. It's following also very nice the second, but I will say that if you're not super precise with second, it's important to let the model do a bit and to just more say cut without to say exactly at what timing you want what. Because when you give too much timing, sometimes people I see writing super long prompts, it can be interesting, but I think it's good to let the model also sometimes choose a bit and to let more freedom if it's like half a second before or half a second after. And again, I say here one model 13 look, but it's not only 13 look. It's like how many look you want. I did like much more tests that I didn't show everything on this, but it's very good at styling again. So like for animation, but also for styles that you never saw before that can combine 3D and real environment, it can be quite amazing. And so really I push people to use this way. Again, I think it's something that I just showed before, but that I want to put like to speak quickly about again. Today, like if you want to create like very consistent scene, what can be super interesting is to give your character sheet, your environment, the object, and the model can do that again amazingly all together. As you can see here, my character, if you're looking at the input, is exactly the same, the environment, the plane. And so you imagine again how control you can do. And character sheet and all that I think is key for this model to work very good. And the last thing that I will show is like the reference style that I spoke a bit at the beginning, but that I didn't show yet. So what is super interesting with this model also is not only doing like put this scene and apply this character inside. You can go much deeper. Here an example with styling. So the first image I say like follow the image one, that it will be the style that you have to follow, and integrate my character that is a photorealistic character. And as you see, like it's really following exactly the style and my character again. So that was quite amazing. So yes, I will not go again with that, but like for sure you can go like 30 seconds is the room for 6 action. You can do much more than 6 action again. Like you can do like 10, 15, 12 if you want. There is no limit about that. I was just trying to give like some advice. Give a reaction is on verb, and more you precise about your description, better your result will be. And I want to finish like saying like what I think is actually so good in this model. First, I think the price is super interesting compared to other high quality there is today. I think it's a very good balance to create like amazing content for a price that is lower than some comparable model today, definitely. The quality is always high. That's why it's super important for me is doing rarely mistake. And for user, it's very important that it's doing less mistakes. So I think that's very important. The motion also, as I said, is part of the quality is very good. The music generation is maybe the only weak point, but also again on file you can use so many like a model also for audio that can be very interesting. And finally, what is important in video is not the music sometimes, but also the sound. And the sound of the video with 1.2.0 is very good, like the ambient sound, I mean. And again, and against like 1.2.7 that I use a lot in the past, it's not like a huge update. It's like a total new model. So to be honest, like if people like try 1.2.7 or even other version of one before, they should really try this one because it's a total gap in terms of quality and control. Yes, I think I'm almost done. I just wanted to show you like a little things at the end. So at File, we just launched like File Agent, and it allows you to launch 1.2.0 or any other model. Just you don't need like to use any API or playground or input. You can just say like generate me a video with this model. You give your content, your character, and it will do it all in one go. So I think with 1.2.0, that is so, as you can see, like parametric model, to use it on File Agent can be super useful and super easy to use. So yes, you can try like the model again on file directly on the playground, on API or using File Agent. And yes, hope it will be great and that will have good experience as I had good experience with this model using it. Thank you to listen to me. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Luis, for this comprehensive testing and evaluation of our model. And I'm very appreciating sincerely I'm a huge fan of your style and the way your video looks is especially the emotions and the dedication to the details, the lightning, and every small parts putting together is actually beyond AI, is even beyond technology. And I wonder, is there any specific tips that you can share for achieving this cinematic level of like video generation?
It's very interesting that you ask this. I think first what is interesting is to look at movies that exist today. Not to copy what you see, but just to understand how a scene is, how the character is placed sometimes. And the model already one is so good. And if you can just give some indication of more cinematographic, like there is some rules, for example, of how you place your character in the image, if it should be like on the 2/3 or the 1/3 of the image. So I think it's super interesting that all the cinematic rules that exist today can be applied to this model, and it's super good at following prompts. So when you explain what style you want, but also like what kind of camera and how you want it to be filmed, what I find it impressive is following what I want. So finally, I will say to people like don't hesitate to make your prompt not only like describing what you will see, but also how it should be like in your scene, how the elements should be together.
I see. So that's the exact directions we want Gen AI models to drive us to, actually. So I'm really happy you're bringing this happen because great model needs people who understand, like the great creator to drive it. And thank you for being with us. And I'm especially like very touched by you showing the video generated by 1.0. Thank you, thank Fall for being with us from the very beginning and being our greatest partners ever. So you mentioned about the creative agents, the workflow agents, and I'm really cheerful for you to bring that alive right now. And do you have any recommendations for our users at Fall, like how to best use one with our workflow agents?
Yes, so you can like first I would say like it's best like to create like if you use the agent, it's best to first like try to create environment, mood, character, and with that you can use for example a Qwen model on file that is very good for this, and you can generate Qwen 3.0 that you can generate like amazing images and also edit your images. I would say, and what is super good is with File Agent you can just say, okay, generate me image of this environment in this style with this model, or even you can choose model for you. And I will start with that, like to create content, to try to create a mood. And what is super good with File Agent is like you can iterate very easily. So you can modify some parts, just some elements that you don't like, or like come back to some image that you wanted to do before. And from that, when you have like a good base of like content visual and prompting, because it can also help you like prompting, you can just say like, okay, now that you have all this content, generate me a video for me. But what is super good with this is not only you can do one video, but it can also do like a super long movie if you want it. So the file agent can go very, not only like using like one generation videos that would be only one reference to video, but you can combine maybe like 5 reference to video together in one go. So even to create, for example, a movie, or like for people that want to have like a lot of control, but in the same way, a tool of production that allows them to combine things together without to use too much software, I think it can be very interesting, definitely.
Wow, thank you for sharing. I couldn't wait for our D0 launch together this week, and I encourage
Yes.
everyone to try one with Alpha Agents. Thank you so much,
Definitely.
Luis, and I do hope we meet again very soon. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much to receive me. It was a pleasure to do that with you, and always a pleasure to collaborate with you. Yeah.
Now let's welcome Max Simonson, the creative director from OpenArt, our long-term close friend. Max has been a filmmaker, a director, a writer, a good storyteller. And I still remember I met you in the office like 2 weeks ago when you came in with this great excitement about trying out different models with your storytelling. So Max, now over to you to have an introduction of yourself and share us about what story you're making this time with Wan 3.0.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm Max. I'm one of the creative directors here at OpenArt. So among the team here, we create all kinds of content. We'll do ads, or sometimes we do little short films and stories, all kinds, product launches, whatever it may be, even including client work as well. What we really do on a day-to-day is not only test the models, but try to push them, I guess, to their limits so that we can see what's possible with the latest technology, and also what new stories can we tell with them. I think there's the obvious things that can be done with these models, and then if you kind of push beyond that and think outside the box, there's a lot of new creative stories that can be told. I think that's what excites me the most about working kind of in this space at the moment, is finding new ways to sort of I guess new ways to sort of share stories, new ways to sort of realize them, and hopefully that unlocks just kind of new kind of styles and aesthetics and just new ideas in general. I think really that's what's most exciting to me. So it's been a lot of fun working here and working with the models, and it's been great collaborating with you guys as well along the way. Cool. So this is all done in OpenArt. This is I'll switch the model that I was using here. So yeah, this was all done. This is the film I'll show you guys, and maybe we would have played it before. The film was all done, was all created in OpenArt, and I'm going to show you, I guess, the workflow that went behind putting together the scenes. I guess for this particular project, I wanted to tell a story that was longer than just a 30-second generation. I feel like it's very exciting. These models can now do obviously longer videos. So for me, often what's exciting, what the challenge is, okay, how can I use that to create a larger world? So rather than trying to compress a story into the time frame that the model supports, what's interesting to me is, okay, how can I then use that as an advantage to tell even bigger stories? So that was the most exciting thing about, I think about Wan 3.0 is just the fact that now I can get more longer generations, which not only means I can get more out of one video, but it means I can pace the story. I can pace the story the way I want to. Oftentimes, with short generations, you have to compress stuff into 15 seconds or whatever it is, and that's fine too. But it's harder to let your story sort of breathe and pace out the way you want them to. So having 30 seconds is amazing. It means I can now I can get the shots hold, and I can kind of flow the way I want to and tell the story at my own pace. So it's been really exciting being able to explore how that informs the filmmaking and the storytelling behind what I do. So this is sort of where I started. I guess the first step is an idea. So I was thinking about what I could do. I was in Yosemite recently. I was out in nature, and I thought, okay, I want to do some sort of story related to this. Could be kind of fun. So I came up with this idea of this kind of medieval woodcutter who is a bit tired of his job and decides he wants an easy way out, and he finds a bunch of logs in the woods and thinks, you know, I'll just take these and be on my merry way. And then from there, things just take a surprising turn for him. So first things first, I needed some characters and some environments. And I started off, again, thinking of doing it in a live action sense, doing it kind of photorealistic. So as I was designing my characters, like you can see here, I was just sort of keeping it very simple, just describing kind of the person, the simple sort of a very medieval woodcutter, just to get to see where the image models take me. From there, I started to make the selections from the images that I like, and some things I just prompt directly. So I wanted to get maybe the donkey in the cart. There is a beaver king at the end of the story, which I put together as well. So there's that character. Yeah, and so as I started to just generate more stuff, I started to assemble the characters that I liked. Again, this is working in the live action kind of vision for the story. I took this image of this character and created a character sheet that I could then use to always refer to that character. Same with the this beaver king who I created. So there he is, and including the props as well. So he has an axe. So I thought, okay, I want this to be consistent. I want this to be noted by the model as to how it looks, and so the model understands what it is, and I can tag it. So I created that. Then anyway, down the line, I figured it was nice, but a bit too generic. So then I had explored this origami style on some previous testing. I think on the previous one model. I thought it did such a nice job with it that I thought I really want to explore this further. So then I thought, okay, let's just take the elements I've already created. So let me take this character that I've already made and just re-render him with an origami style. I thought it was really nice. And so I basically started taking all the things that I'd already done in live action, like the axe, and just re-rendering it with an origami prompt. And it's such a simple prompt. I just said, show me this in origami style. I'm sure you could take more references and more different aesthetics and filter them into these and get different styles. But again, I just wanted to keep it simple because I didn't even know how well this would work. And so landed with a bunch of these. Same thing with the chopped up wood. It's kind of some things it was interesting to see how how an origami style would represent it. But it was it was quite fun to see how the models interpreted it. And same with locations, sort of got the market. And once I had all of these together, then it was a matter of prompting it. So let me see if I have one of these I can share. Cool. So let me just recreate this prompt. So yeah, my prompting structure is I guess it works for me, and this is sort of what I usually adhere to for most of my video generating. So when Wan3.0 came out, I was really excited to sort of see how I can now use 30 seconds to get more shots and just better pacing for my story. So step one was obviously add the characters into the prompt that I plan to use. So I had the woodcutter, his axe, the forest, the logs, and the donkey with the cart. And then the way I prompt Wan3.0 is I start with the context of what I'm asking it to do. So I had asked it to create a darkly comic handheld multi-shot origami medieval fantasy movie set in a deep old-growth origami forest in late afternoon. Entire world folded from paper. Then I did want it to be kind of a bit handheld and flowy, so I kind of reiterated a few times. Handheld camera work, handheld cinematography, and shaky camera operation. And from there, I broke it down into the shots that I wanted to include in the in this first generation. So I always start with open with, and then just describe that shot out. I always reiterate, a lot of times for camera operation, I'll reiterate kind of what is the actual camera operation, what is the kind of the visual aesthetic of it. So I've mentioned a few times here I want it to be handheld. And then from there, I just describe the shots out in as much detail as I can. I find a good practice for working with any model as not only to think about in your writing, not only to think about what you want to see, but also think about how the model might misinterpret your language. So try to think about not only describing as clearly as possible the action and the style, but also think about where in my language might it misinterpret, where might it go a different direction that's not what I want, and that can just help you control the overall sort of flow and the action in your shots. So yeah, as you start to go through your shots, and I'll often just write out my shots as I think of them, or as I see them, just shot by shot. So I'll say cut to this, cut to that, and work my way through it. And then I'll go back and tidy it up. And you could also run it through an LLM like Claude or ChatGPT if you want, just to tidy it up and catch any errors you may have made. I often will do that just to make sure that I haven't made any kind of typos or anything that could jeopardize the result. But I try to always make sure that the final prompt is mostly in my language and mostly in my terminologies, because one, I think it's good to trust your language, trust your way of expressing your story, because that's what's gonna make it unique and sort of special, right? It's the fact that it's your wording, it's your communication, it's your vision. But like obviously you want to make sure that all the elements are coherent and clear. So it is good to just run that through and just make sure that everything's going to all come together soundly. And then at the very end of the prompt, I usually include like a style prompt. I call it like a master style prompt, where I just describe in a bit more detail the visual aesthetics. So in this case, I didn't put too much because it was origami. I didn't need to go too crazy with it. But if it was a photorealistic video, then I would go a lot deeper in terms of the style. And I can actually maybe jump back and find a prompt which covers that. But this one was simply a shot depth of field, creamy bokeh, just to give it like that kind of that kind of blowy background. Diegetic audio, so I only wanted to hear the sounds in the scene. So there was no background music, no soundtrack, because I often want to be able to control that later and add my own music. And this, no on-screen text as well, just to ensure no caption music on the shot. And that's how I get something like this. And I can play this again, just to show kind of the result that something like that is giving me.
Useless, good-for-nothing axe!
Yeah, so that not bad, right, for this first generation. And what I'd often do is generate a couple of these and find the shots that work best for me and assemble it based off those strongest shots. I will show you here. This one, let's see if I can show you. These are some of the live action ones I did, and I can show you just down here like for something like this. Again, actually I had it quite simple. But I described the film stock, the lenses, just some like kind of frame rate and shutter details, and also give it a bit of direction on the lighting as well. I feel like if you're going for photorealistic stuff, you do want to describe a little bit more what the lighting is doing and kind of how it's affecting the skin. In this case, I had it quite simple, and oftentimes in the actual shot descriptions, I will describe how the lighting is playing in the scene. Actually, this particular prompt, I was testing what happened if I didn't describe the shots at all, just describe the story, and the model was able to follow that as well. So you can actually work with the model in various ways depending on how you like to work. I like to describe my shots kind of shot by shot and tell it cut to this, cut to that. But I have found that the model is quite receptive to just telling a story and then understanding from that there are certain shots that are required to tell that, and then it will make those decisions for you. So it's it's been quite impressive and fun to play with, and having the multiple inputs as well means that you can just tell larger stories with more elements in play. So you can get references for all your characters, your locations, and your props. And I don't think I can see myself running out of image references slots with the model, which is really, really great. So that's like I guess a simple overview of my workflow putting together that first scene for this video. Okay.
Thank you so much, Max. And I really appreciate your efforts, especially bringing us really, to the backstage of your storytelling and creation. And what impressed me the most is um, we have been often debating on the relationship between human and Gen AI, and you mentioned a point that really hit my heart. You mentioned that how you structure a prompts, what specific details you cares about, but eventually you mentioned we as a creator needs to trust our words and trust our feelings and trust our minds when doing the final shots, which is exactly what we need at this stage when we're having a deeper relationship with the models. So to me, my simple question is, beyond this, I know you have like expertise in many different styles of creation, and upon your current experience, what are the use cases or scenarios that you would recommend Wan 3.0 to try with?
Yeah. I think first of all, I think it's the things that what I've been most excited about exploring with it are trying styles that don't trying styles that maybe aren't as initially obvious with it. I know a lot of times the instinct is to run straight into live action photorealism, and it can do that. But I think what's exciting about Wan is that in my testing, it's able to capture it's able to capture the visual styles of many different sort of aesthetics that you want to play with. So the origami was just one example. I've seen obviously do things like anime, claymation stuff, stop motion, and I think that's kind of where the model really excites me. Because again, I actually come from a live action production as well, so my instinct is often to run into like photoreal stuff. But there's been so many different ways to tell a story, and some stories actually just finding a suitable style for it, especially when you're doing something a bit larger than life or a bit out there. Yeah, it's nice to be able to explore that style, and I think a model like Wan is really, really well suited to those different aesthetics. So that's the first thing I'd say. Jump into that and see what you can do. See what you can do with different styles. And from there, I would also say, I mean, with a lot of models, but especially with Wan, you can obviously describe your shots like I have, but see where the model takes you first. Like maybe just tell it your story, describe kind of the feeling you want. Don't be afraid to go into the emotion of your story as well. Beyond, obviously, there's the technical stuff that you want to cover, but describe how it should feel, describe how it should flow, describe like what the character is going through, and see how the model plays with that. Because these models they are creative in their own way, and they can take your ideas and they'll do their own thing with it. And just like any other process in filmmaking, it is a process. So there's an element of exploration involved. And so I'd say with Wan, just like get to know it, see where it goes, like understand sort of its own logic, and then use that to your advantage when you're telling a story. Because once you know what you're working with, it's a lot easier to lean into its strengths. And that applies to anything you're doing in any sort of filmmaking process, is understanding what your tools do and what their strengths are, and then leaning into that. So I think Wan is quite a creative model. Even in my prompting, even with my quite descriptive prompting, it did sometimes take me in directions I wasn't expecting, and I was able to like take those and think, this is actually quite interesting. I'm going to run with this and incorporate it into my next attempt at this, and also it builds your confidence as well. Some of my follow-up generations with different stories, I was taking a bit more bolder like kind of moves visually with the storytelling. So rather than playing it safe or thinking I'm going to let my story, my visual language sort of live in this sort of world, I started to get more confident with it. So and that's because I kind of let the model sort of show me what it could do and explore with it. So I encourage that as always. Yeah, just really just don't be afraid to get lost in it.
Wow, it's very inspirational to hear your like creative journey. It feels like a co-creating together with the model. And I'm also concerned, like from such storyteller perspective, what do you care the most, for the future evolvement of the model when we try to incorporate, more contents, like or the content creation procedure into the model itself? what do you think are like several things that you will prioritize and you are care most about?
Oh, I think for most models, the biggest thing that I look for is lighting and sort of texture, like the way it takes the references, the images that I give it, and how it actually renders them in the space. Does it feel natural? Does it feel true to the references that I provided? That's always a really, really that's always a really big one for me. So because you can spend so much time designing things like this. I mean, the particular video I did, I did sort of let myself explore a bit, but sometimes you'll do projects where you really dive into a whole design in a style that you want to be, I guess, represented by the model truthfully to how you see it. And so, yeah, lighting and this texture, whether it's skin or any surface, those are usually a big one for me. Sound is also quite important. I think like how it not only recreates sounds that you would expect, but also how the personality it gives to the voices, the performance it provides. That is also something I often do look for in a model. And honestly, other than that, it's really just maybe it's sense of geography. This is actually something that a lot of people don't talk about with models, but it's a big one for me. Is how it understands the space that you've provided. Because it's very easy for models sometimes to kind of get a bit lost in an environment and start to see things that kind of repeat in different directions as you start to cut to different angles. And one I've been quite happy with, I found that it's, I mean, the forest is quite an easy test for it, but at some later ones, I found it was able to represent some of the locations like the market I provided quite well. And that's a really big one for me is, can I provide some images of an environment, maybe even just one, and my characters, and then just tell the model like, all right, this is the story, this is where this character goes, this is where we're going to be in the frame, and let it sort of flow around and let it actually find those angles, and everything kind of comes together, everything ties together. That's really important for me for two reasons. One, it means that I can feel more confident in my storytelling, because I can really just dive into a location and explore it with my camera work and what my characters do. But on top of that, it means that I can actually edit together multiple generations. So if I generated maybe 4 or 5 versions of the same scene, if the model's keeping my location consistent across the angles to the best of what it can with the references I provided it, then I know I can take those and choose the best of the best when I edit my final video. And then you're getting the best of both worlds with that. So I think for a lot of narrative production going forward with this technology, that's really a big part of the workflow. Obviously, the models are getting better, and like the example I showed you, you could honestly just take that and run with that entire clip. But sometimes, again, because the models are so creative, they'll give you a little moment here and there. Maybe one generation performance is quite nice, and maybe another generation had quite a nice kind of like camera move or shot or just a feeling that you quite liked. It's nice to know that you can take all those and combine them and not worry about continuity breaking or anything like that. So I think those are some of the things I look for when I'm testing the models. Yeah, and so far it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Max. And yeah, those are really helpful to us. And one last question. And as you mentioned about workflow, and you also did a great demo on, how to play with models on OpenArt. I know that we just launched our own workflow agents recently, and actually I was invited to do the beta testing as well. And I do want to get more tips and advices from you to all the OpenArt users, how to, best use Wan 3.0 with our OpenArt agent.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, with the agent we have, you can essentially just it's a general agent, so you can talk to it. You can ask questions, but you can also create with it. I think what the most fun thing about agents for me is that it's not just I guess a text controlled assistant who's going to be there and just follow your commands, but you can collaborate with them. I think that's the most fun thing. So you can give it references for you give a reference for a character or a location or just a style reference and say, hey, I've got a story. Maybe you can even copy and paste an outline of the story. I'm usually quite simple with my story outlines, actually. I don't go into like full script format. I just kind of write out the beats of the story, and often it can be a bit messy, but I like that. And then the model then the agent can read that and sort of start to read between the lines, find moments, and suggest ideas for shots, or it can take a environment that you provided and give you some ideas for how that might render well in the style that you want, or where you could go with something. So it's really, I think the most fun thing about the agent is it's just another layer of collaboration that you can start to implement into your workflow. And obviously it's going to help you along the way with everything you need. It's probably also great because, again, like with this particular example, I didn't use an agent, but what I know about them is that, and in my time working with them, is that you've essentially got an assistant who's tracking your progress. So when you are moving your way down your story, maybe there's multiple different scenes and characters. It's going to keep track of all that stuff for you. So as you get into like your fifth or sixth scene, and you're telling the agent, hey, this character's name is Mel or something, and this is what the donkey looks like, and the castle has a moat around it, and all that. It's going to start tracking all that for you, especially if you're providing images that you're locking in. And then as you expand on your story and you explore it, you've got an assistant who's not only helping you build this, but helping you keep track of your story, so you're not making mistakes, you're not overlooking things, and also it's giving you ideas that you can use to go further. I guess the more you give it, the more it's going to give back to you. So oftentimes, I'll give it a shot list or a scene description. So hey, like, here's what I'm thinking. Can you just go over this and review it and tidy it up and let's see what we get. And in that, it will tell you if there's maybe there's a bad cut in here that's not going to flow as well, or if some element in your story is breaching the logic of something that you've established earlier. So I think it is a future of working with these tools to tell stories this way, because it allows us to tell more complicated stories. Rather than having to have everything live in my head or live on a piece of paper that I've scribbled it out on, I have a much more intelligent agent that knows the tools, and it knows my story as well as I do as I describe it to it. And that's just going to allow you to become more intricate and become more detail-oriented and just more, I guess, creative as you tell your story and as you make your films.
Yes, thank you so much, Max, for your sharing. I've learned so much from you, and I want to thank you and thank you, like OpenArt, for always being a greatest partner for us. And we are really excited about the upcoming launch of Wan on OpenArt at D0. So let's connect really soon upon the release.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm excited to see what everyone makes with it. It's been a lot of fun playing with it, and it's a real fun one. So it's always exciting when models come out and you start to see what everyone's doing with it. So thanks for having me, and thanks for letting me talk a little bit about my process.
I super appreciate this. We all do. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Now let's welcome Meiho Agawa. He's a great friend of us, and he's the CEO and founder of Koyo AI. It's a very trending startup among the community. They have, over several thousands of users already during 1 year's time, and it has a film bench that is purely voted from all members from the community. So it's an honor to have you, Meiho, here with us, and we can't wait to listen to your stories with Wan through this beta testing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'll give a brief intro about me. Thank you so much for the kind words already. So I'm Mehul. I run Koil. Koil, think of us as an AI research lab that is focused on filmmaking. So we work with great model teams such as Alibaba to figure out where these models perform best when it comes to filmmaking tasks. And we have humans that actually rank these models on a variety of different things. And then on top of that, we have our own agentic harness that our agents use these benchmarks to create long form video. And we work with studios to create custom endpoints and workflows on top of the best SOTA models for them to put long form films into production. That's why I'm super excited about trying out Wan and showcasing how Wan is actually upgrading our workflow and how it performs relative to every other model that's coming out in the pipeline.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I think I can jump straight into it. Film Arena is our public benchmark for comparing all of these models on a variety of different categories. So, unlike other benchmarking websites, what we focus on is a very filmmaker perspective. So, we have benchmarks that exist for emotions, multi-character movement, high movement, object handling, world building, and that's for image to video. And these same benchmarks get translated for animation as well. And we see that the model performance actually differs quite a bit when you are dealing with different categories in these things. So that's for image to video. For video edit, we actually go even deeper. So if you have video to video tasks, we measure camera movement, we measure expressions, body language, setting transfers, adding, removing, changing the pacing of a particular scene, the time of day, lighting, environment effects, and style transfer. All of these use cases come in really handy when we work with creatives because this is akin to almost measuring how VFX artists do their pipeline, but now with AI. And the same gets extended for image editing as well, right? You have adding elements, removing elements, background, expressions, lighting, text editing, character swapping, all of that. So that is an overall sort of landscape of how Film Arena works. I'm very happy to report that WAN 3.0 is SOTA across a lot of these categories. And then before jumping into WAN specific things, I would love to also talk about a creative way that people can use Film Arena. So we have a sandbox here. So unlike other partners that are really, really good at very specific harnesses, this is meant for AI creatives to go ham. So the idea is you don't have to worry about prompt engineering. You don't have to worry about the models. All you have to worry about are outputs. So you can select best, top three, or custom set. And amongst these custom set, you can choose multiple models. And the entire idea is you can change the kinds of outputs that you want based on just a simple list of parameters. So if I wanted 12 outputs from the top three models at a 1080p resolution, with the prompting being according to the prompting guides of these models, I can just do that on Film Arena Sandbox. And we've seen a lot of creators, thousands of creators come to this instead of the other platforms here because they're just way more inclined to token max, but when it comes to AI video. So that's overall a gist. How it works, I'd love to show a very quick video, but I would love to then get deeper into how WAN, the checkpoints have been performing on our Film Arena so far. So just to give you an example, Film Arena, currently the website looks a little bit more like this, where I can go through and check all my different videos. I can look at what models perform best at what particular use case, and then just go on the sandbox and create all of these things. I can use multiple different models at the same time, animate them, work through them, change it, do a bunch of things. And also, you can try out these models for free. I think that's a big use case that people like. We eat up the token costs when it comes to testing out these models. So a lot of people can try out WAN 3 when it gets released on Film Arena for free to test out how it performs against other models and use it in their production pipeline. This is basically how someone can test out different models at the same time and then just keep working through their checkpointed stuff and just keep churning out content and generate a lot of images, a lot of videos all at the same time. And in this use case, I have a matrix bullet time effect happening with different multiple models, and I can check out and pick and choose which model performs best at what particular task. We can also extend this to video editing. So I can take a particular video, I can take a particular shot and use up to multiple references that WAN 3 supports across these things, generate a bunch of videos, and choose the best video to then video edit and do color grading and other VFX pipeline things on. So this is the overall setup. I would now love to jump into actually how Wan3 works on this and what are the different aspects of it. Do you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly.
Awesome. So Wan3, you've probably already talked about this, but I think one of the key aspects of Wan3 that I really enjoy is the fact that it can go up to 30 seconds, right, in a single pass, which doubles the 15 seconds ceiling. And we've clearly noticed there's a big difference in running two Wan 2.7 shots, 15 seconds each, as compared to just running one single pass. So I think that is a big, big plus. And we in our testing have actually almost like exploited the Omni reference. We try out with a bunch of different things and we're seeing very, very good results across the standpoint here. And what I'd like to say is how Film Arena works is basically we have around 10,000 users every 3 days that vote on these models blindly. So it is community ranking, it is pairwise, and we judge prompt adherence, we judge cohesiveness, we judge physics, we judge all of the other categories that I had mentioned, and all of the rankings are kept separately for each capability. And here, just to give you a quick example, overall quality, high movement, emotions, object handling, multi-character world building, and all of these things are very paramount, and that's where Wan3 performs the best. And we've talked about a bunch of this. We've recently started introducing more benchmarks for understanding how longer shots work, right? So the big thing that Wan3 is great at is that you can actually measure its standout performance when it comes to higher durations, and particularly when it comes to identity drifting and distortions, where it performs pretty low. And Omni reference really helps us hold characters as well. And in terms of performance, it is actually #1 currently on animated video. In the 6 animated categories that we measure, Wan3 performs #1, and it's really, really good for realistic as well. Top 3 overall, and when it comes to specific categories, it actually jumps up to #1 and #2 in those categories. So just talking about animated video, as you can see, there are a lot of ones here. But in terms of object handling, high movement, multi-character, and world building, it is #1. Emotions, it performs #2, but the ELO ranking of it is actually pretty close to #1 within standard deviations. And when it comes to realistic video, it actually performs #3 overall, but when it comes to specific things such as characters and movement and emotions, it is against one of the top SOTA models here. And just to go deeper in it, is the basically high movement when it comes to animation is something that Wan3 really excels at, because it is really hard for models that measure the world to be good at animation because the physics in animation differ. But stylized motion is where Wan3 really performs really, really good. Multi-character and emotion are strong throughout, right? So the character work when it comes to giving your references and it showcasing are really, really good. And then world building as well, especially for animation, is amongst the top. One thing I would say is world building when it comes to realistic is still needs a little bit of work, but I'm sure the Van team is working really, really hard on it. So to summarize, Wan3 is effectively SOTA for animated video and is firmly in the top 3 for realistic generations. Obviously, we'll come back to you once the actual model is released with much better benchmarks across video editing and Omni reference to video. But we're very, very excited about the results. And yeah, we're still conducting a comprehensive evaluation, and we're very excited to support Van3 on Film Arena, as well as our platform Coil, where agents take care of the video for you once the results are up, and we'll have day zero access.
Thank you so much, Meiho, for your comprehensive evaluation. And we're actually very impressive to see the detailed angles that you've go into, and especially at the very professional, like cinematic level and into the aesthetic level. And this is a direction that we are aiming at for sure. And in pre-training and post-training, we spend a lot of efforts on this as well. And I noticed you conducted the eval on 6th of August, and actually we're keep updating our checkpoints
Yes, yes.
from that day till now. So I'm excited to have you to do the eval again upon our official release. And
Yeah.
from our side, we have actually two questions. One
Please.
is that we are quite impressive of how you build up this evaluation and also engage so many people from the community. What do you think are the key elements and key parts that the community really cares about when they start to engage a new model?
Yeah, I think the big thing that most people care about are A, prompt adherence. I think the big thing that I'm seeing specifically for WAN models, they've been really, really good at prompt adherence. Is not just, okay, I'm going to put in words like 4K realistic and all of that in the prompt. It is understanding whether they can follow the movement of the characters throughout the scene, and the camera can follow the movement. Like what we're seeing is recently with a lot of other models, if I even if I specify a static frame, the camera moves and there's a camera shake involved. So I think there needs to be a lot of work in pre-training, post-training to avoid those cases, right? So I think I say Van team really focuses on a lot of these specific nuances. Second, I would say is something is consistency. And this is not just character consistency, is the face consistent or not? Let's say I have really, really fast-paced action sequence. I think Van really holds through in maintaining the pacing of the scene while making sure that there's no object drift. So consistency is maintained when it comes to character, when it comes to assets, when it comes to the lighting and the location as well.
I see. These qualities too is a very solid foundation for users to start using the model. And another interesting question I want to bring up is you specifically mentioned about how Call Your Agents is targeting to build for like an entire film. And
Yeah.
you also dig very deep into the long camera shots, which I'm personally also a big fan of this because I know technically it requires very like strong text or the prompt understanding, text rendering, and it also needs to understand the space and also the camera language very well. And I do see that when Gen AI models gets deeper into this vertical, like such long shots are getting much and more often. So what do you think are the critical aspects when the users are generating such long shots?
Yeah, so I think the big thing that I'm very excited about is like the ability to go to 30 seconds, right? When you talk about when you talk about films in general, most scenes actually are short, right? So I have a lot of camera cuts, and maximum scene goes is up to 1 minute, right? But how do you then measure consistency when it comes to a 2 hour film? The idea is, how does scene 1 measure with scene 10, with scene 20, and all of that? So a big aspect of why we run Film Arena is to understand which models perform good for each individual scenes. And then the agents then pick and choose the models based on which scene requires what kind of movement. So whether it's an action sequence, whether it's slow motion, whether it's an emotional scene. And then because we have all of this public data on how users prefer which model over another, the agents get to focus on the long form things, which is, let's say I wanted to change the character's look in scene 1. Okay, then this character reappears in scene 3, 4, 5, and then scene 20. So let me change that look there. Let me look at how the character moves in scene 20 and then change that how it looks in scene 10, scene 50, and all of that. So even though your individual scenes can be all the way from 2 seconds to 30 seconds, what we're trying to do is maintain that consistency for long form video generation. That's where our agents excel.
I see. Wow. I'm super excited and for this co-launch with you and to have one on your agents and under your harness. So really appreciate all the efforts and I can't wait to connect with you again on our D0.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Meiho. Thanks for all the sharings from our creators. I'm getting more excited for the model. And finally, Haoyu, it's your model and your showtime. Tell us about how you see Wan3 from your angle.
Okay. Hi, I'm Hao Yuchen, and I'm a researcher on One Model teams. And it's great to be here today. We have put a lot of time and care into Wan3, and it's a very important model for our team, and we wanted to build a model that is both powerful and easy to use. So we are so excited to finally share it to the world. Now today, we want to introduce Wan3 through 4 key breakthroughs: native 30-second video generation, omni-reference, reality-grade rendering, and dynamic motion. Together, these 4 parts give a good overview of what Wan3 can do for creators. Okay, let's start with our first major features, native 30-second video generation. We believe story need time and your idea deserve more than 15 seconds. And the creators need time to show real emotions and to tell a real story. And that's why native 30 seconds generation is such an important part of Wan3. Now let's look at our first example. Notice how the motion, the camera works, and the visual details stay perfectly stable. And next is our second case. Even with multiple shots, the full 30-second sequence still feel smooth and consistent. And this gives creators more space for storytellings. Okay, now let's move to the second part, omni-reference. One of our goals with Wan3 is to make video generation easier to control. And in real creative work, users often provide reference, not just text. So with omni-reference, we want the model to understand richer inputs and help users get more accurate results. So at the base level, Wan3 supports the main input modality, text, image, video, and audio. And it can take multiple references together, up to 20 inputs in total. And what's special about Wan3 is the model can also take inputs from like Word files, PDFs, Markdown files, spreadsheet, and even web links. This matters because we want to capture ideas from the creators and the tools that they use every single day. And let's see how this works in action. For our first video, we gave the model 3 reference images, 1 background and 2 different characters. Everything stays perfectly stable from start to finish in 30 seconds. So for the second example, we used just one single image to drive the brand animation. And this model sets the style, the colors, and the material by itself. Okay. Finally, let's look at very cool features using using an Excel file as input. This Excel contains a list of story and the character settings and the short list. No need to write any long prompts. We just upload this Excel directly, and Wan3 generated the video. So what this means is that creators now can use their existing work files directly to make videos.
So I'm jumping to ask a question from here. So we do, from the past versions of Wan, we're often appreciated for providing omni-reference and full modalities. And this version, we even expanded to more input types like PDF or web link or like Markdown files. I was wondering, how do we achieve this in one single model?
Okay. To answer this question at a high level, I think it have 2 steps. The first step is about understandings. So with the help of the large language models, the system can read many kind of input, understand the user's intent more directly without forcing them to break everything down into prompt. And the second one is about prompt enhancement. So after that, the system turns the input into a clear description for video generation. So in a simple terms, the systems first understand the materials and then turns it into a form that the video can use better.
I see. And another question I'm asking on behalf of creators is that how do we ensure and maintain the consistency across so many different levels of inputs?
We did 3 things the training for the reference consistency. So firstly, it's about data. So compared to our previous version, we now support more combinations of inputs and build more consistency focused training data. And we also expanded our data pipelines and greatly improved the data quality. And the second one is about model design. We improved the model's long context ability, so it can use earlier context better when generating later part of a video. And then lastly is about post-training. We did extra post-training to improve consistency across shots, identity, and audio, especially in longer video with multiple shots.
Good to know. Thank you for all the efforts. Let's move on to the next.
So, okay, now let's talk about the visual quality. For a video generation model, visual quality is one of the most basic and most important foundations. With Wan3, we put a lot of efforts into this part to make our video looks more real and more beautiful. We can start with this example. So you can see from the human face to the hair, to the touch, to the laugh, all very real. And in fact, it's hard to tell if this is AI generated or shot on a real camera. And we can now look at the second examples. So the lighting, the color, and the overall quality are all very strong. So together, these two examples shows that Wan3 can generate videos that look both realistic and visually beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm jumping for another question here because these days there's many models in the market and the creators are getting more and more, focused on the beauty and the artistic level of the model can demonstrate. And we do see a huge improvement in this level for Wan3 and wonder what we have done to bring this to our creators.
I think to answer this question, there are three parts. So the first part is that we learn from stronger artistic standards by working with aesthetic experts and creative consultants at director level. And secondly, we build a richer data set in pre-training process and across different visual domains. And this gave the model a much better foundation for visual quality. And in post-training stage, we did special fine-tuning to improve the realisms and the visual quality. On top of that, we applied the reinforced learning to further boost the visual quality and reduce failure cases.
And I do remember I heard from you from our last conversation, you mentioned so many different lightings from the nature, from the movies, from the photography. Those are all being independently captured and, trained in the model. So I do see that efforts being paid off right now to see the current effects.
Yes.
Okay, now let's move on to the dynamic motions.
So about motion, we think in video generation, movement is always the hardest part. It's not enough for characters to just move. The movement must look real, feel the weight, and have the right speed. With Wan3, we put a lot of focus on this. And let me show you three examples.
The first one.
So as you can see, the action in this 30-second video is super exciting and smooth.
And very cute as well.
Yeah. And we can move to the next example. So the movement in this case is also very powerful, and the camera movement is also very great. And the third case is about the dance example, and which is also one of our strengths. You can see the dance moves, the timing, and the overall motion all comes through very well. So this about motion.
Yes. So I mean, as you mentioned, movement is always the hardest part. And how do we, improve this like motion during the training process?
Firstly, in pre-training, we really put a lot of effort into motion-related data. We carefully prepared and filtered the data and kept monitoring motion quality throughout the whole training process. And secondly, in post-training, we also have a reinforced learning process for motion, which made the result more stable. So overall, this helps the model generate motion that feels more natural and more stable.
I see. And I think we're coming to the almost the end of the introduction. Thank you so much for sharing so much, characteristic of this model. And we're bringing this model very soon with through our official channel Wan3.0 or like through Alibaba Cloud on the Model Studio or Quan Cloud. So I mean, any feelings to share about shipping the model?
Yes, of course. In fact, we hold the one brand very close to our heart. Ever since we open sourced the first version in 2025, we value every chance and every voice and feedback from our creators and the community. And along the way, we've also done a lot of reflection. And 1.3 is the version our entire teams gave everything to build. So a special thanks to all of you for your support and for standing with us. And we can't wait to see what you will create with it.
Thank you, Haoyu. And we cannot wait. So stay tuned and we hope you enjoy the journey with Wan. Thank you so much.
Let's see what my friends are up to.
Hey, come on in.
Show me what you got.
Check this out. Yeah, not bad.
What's the latest?
A headphone campaign. Take a look.